VP would punish them for that several times and actually could have let them back in the game if they weren't careful. So there's definitely something to exploit there for Virtus.Pro.
It was buybacks and the fact that when you look at that draft, there's lots of initiation and counter initiation, tons of disables for VP. So if you do step a tiny bit past the tier 3 and they buy back one hero, then that hero is likely to die. So I don't think it was necessarily them being overzealous. It's just the fact that VP were always ready to punish if they did do that.
Even if they showed a small error. The draft is ready, so let's head into Game 3's draft and see the bans, which are relatively similar, if not the same as we had in Game 2, actually, with the Disruptor in there, the Bounty and the Doom.
Looks like the main difference is this time first pick will be over on the Virtus.Pro side, so the two teams sticking on the same side, just swapping who has first pick and second pick. That was something we thought was going to be a key thing that game, with the final pick going the way of VP. The Alchemist, it got shut down, I think, end of the day, so it very much in hindsight, they're probably thinking we should pick something more early game centric.
Yeah, but I really think, like, Virtus.Pro, their team relies a lot on G doing well in the mid lane. And though I lower
Lion
dance
and Disruptor. And we talked about him being the VP MVP for today. EG, I think, recognizing that, and they banned both of his heroes. Lion and Disruptor first stage bans, that's like unheard of in a lot of ways. So what slips through as a result? The Bat Rider, probably one of the big heroes.
I mean, it's EG, so they're going to first phase Bane, right? Again. Well, the weird thing for me in Game 2 was that we looked at the Bane first phase, and I was a little bit on the edge, not too sure about that. But the way that PPD drafted it, and then the 5th pick of Baden, switching the Bane back onto Fear and playing it as more of like an aggressive support, able to counter-initiate. Oh, Night Stalker and Puck, oh my goodness.
Okay, that's pretty dark.
Okay, so Aloha Dance, in his top 5 heroes, most played in professional esports, he obviously has the Disruptor and the Lion in there, but he also has IO in there, so that might be something that Virtus.Pro might fall back on. The other two are Rubik and Tusk, which I don't really feel are... Do you feel like it could fit?
Not as a go-to early pick, but this is one of the first times we're seeing teams open up with more kind of core heroes picked up in the first stage. The Dragon Knight being secured, this hero being banned out generally in that second ban stage by at least one of the two teams. So DK, this is what happened. So was it Game 1 we saw the Puck pick, and then DK got banned out? So I think VP were looking to secure that strong mid laner to go up against the Puck this time around.
Yes.
No shenanigans.
Goodbye Dragon. Goodbye Phoenix as well.
I mean, they've got two quote-unquote melee heroes. DK, I guess we could argue, not exactly a full melee hero, but they're still going to make sure they don't get...
You can turn it to a dragon.
Has VP played anything?
And then get the draw aura. That's the strat.
VP haven't played any Phoenix this tournament, have they? Really? At least I don't remember them picking it up.
I can recall.
At any other team, you'd see Beastmaster DK and you'd think, yeah, we should probably ban out the Phoenix because of Sunray.
I believe Aloha Dance can play anything after seeing them today.
He probably can.
Godlike player.
Pull it off.
5 seconds.
Again, they're banning the heroes that give P this ability to snowball. The Draw Ranger and then the Venge, which is the Roche taking just hero, like lane pushing hero that...
Aloha Dance has played Phoenix 4 times total in his esports career, and he's won 2 games. 50% win rate.
Well, if we're going into Game 3 with a 50% win rate against EG, I think VP will take that.
Yeah.
10 seconds remaining.
Phoenix against Puck Night Stalker is a bit rough. You've got
spooky.
Multiple silences there, so it is a bit of a tough game, and that's something which you want to take into consideration with your picks here. You're looking at kind of BKB heroes. DK is one of them, of course, but even for your supports, you want to be able to get value out of them and not have them be hard countered by the silence like a Phoenix might be, but... Phoenix is still, like, with Raw and DK stun set up, it's like you may just say, look, Phoenix is still good even though they've got these silences because of how well it combos with the Beastmaster and Dragon Knight.
Well, talking about heroes that pair up well with Beastmaster, and we've seen G play Tinker today. Wouldn't be surprised to see that come out again, and even Abaddon is gonna be struggling with that.
It'd be hard to switch the Tinker in and have, like, DK safe lane or Tinker safe lane.
Dragon Knight? No?
DK almost is run exclusively mid. Yeah, that's the well, let's say it's a problem. It's not more like it doesn't fit.
We used to see a little bit of Tinker safe lane, but not really so much anymore.
At least
Actually,
if they would go for it, they could save it for 5th pick because it's not going to get banned.
that was always Radiant side as well, though.
Yeah.
And this was a long time ago before
This
the
is where
camps
you can
changed.
still could easily back up in the jungle and
Because you had the 3 camps from your safe
So,
lane that you could farm.
PPD Abaddon comes out again. You've got the shield to dispel off the DK stun and the Beastmaster Roar. Great defensive hero to have to also back up the Night Stalker's aggression when he wants to be running in. Can help get the puck out of a bind. Really like how this pick worked for EG in game number 2, and they'll go for it once more.
Does that shift the Night Stalker to off lane then?
Most.
Because now you don't have a zoning
likely.
support at all for the Beastmaster. It's
They can pick AUI, like the kind of carries he's playing in the safe lane are very self-sufficient, although life's still banned out.
But it does give a lot to the Beastmaster if he can just trade hits in lane, and there's the Rubik.
Aloha Dance Rubik. Where he gets his big playmaker. I think there's a lot more pressure on Yoku this game, unlike past games, because G's on a Dragon Knight. He's not on that flashy hero that can put his team on his back to some extent. So we'll see what that means for Virtus.Pro as far as heroes they can for Yoku.
Yeah.
There's very little AoE clear here for EG outside of Puck so far.
Yeah, and you're looking at DK Beastmaster, great just tower taking potential. You've got Nullfield from Rubik, something which got a big buff at early levels. That 1 value point is being doubled
I was
in
thinking
the magic resistance it provides.
I was thinking even past the push and into a hero pick for Yoku we haven't seen in a little bit, the Phantom Lancer. Actually being able to farm safe lane and battle through this. Because having mana burn on a diffuser blade against Night Stalker Abaddon, it really limits them.
Oh yeah, I mean Abaddon's just like does nothing against the PL. You're just useless. Viable. They may want to, and again, they can 4th pick it, then ban something like the Ember if they're worried about an Ember coming out. But I think that they'd be more worried about the Sven. The Sven is an AUI hero.
Wow.
So that's the PPD Crystal Maiden then?
It's a,
Or Fear Crystal Maiden into jungle?
Actually, something we haven't. This is NA Dota offlane Abaddon.
Ooh,
That's always
good
something you got to
point.
talk about with NA Dota. That was
And
the.
I
it is
forgot about
Bulba, Inventor of Stress.
It could just be a PPD Crystal Maiden, put Fear on the jungle / 4th position Night Stalker, and Abaddon fits very nicely as an offlaner.
I think that Crystal Maiden pick just made Virtus.Pro think,
So,
well, we can go greedy.
This is a Chen draft. No, this isn't. It's greedy early game, but mid game heavy push. And last time they picked Chen, it was a complete disaster because they didn't draft around the Chen. This time they have. They've got Beastmaster, Dragon Knight. They push towers. There's limited lane push from the Puck and the Crystal Maiden. And again, you've got Mech, Hand of God. You've got Nullfield. You've got great ways of dealing with the AOE coming out from EG.
And if you want to, you can gank mid lane this game, unlike the previous game where there was a DK mid. I mean, against the Puck, if you get like a Dark Troll and a Centaur or something, you can potentially with a DK, like
so
a level
what are
3
you
DK.
lacking
For
the Virtus.Pro draft?
VP, much. You've got everything you need. Your carry can do again. Your carry just you need a stable fighting carry. I think that's what you want, just a fighting hero.
You've got a really nice diversity of a bit of burst, lots of lockdown, lots of pushing power.
You've got
good auras.
Exactly. You just need a stable, good fighting carry. Jugwood being good. Gyrocopter kind of fits. If you want something a bit single target burst damage, the Clinks is something that could come out potentially.
EG just need another blue hero, and then they're all set.
Well, Sven's still in the pool.
Do you want Sven here? Is it too greedy? I don't think so. I think just from how comfortable AUI's been on the hero, it's still a strong pick for EG.
Isn't Crystal Maiden also slightly seen as a counter to the Chen, by the way?
Absolutely. At least the help very good at defending against the early rotations coming out from the Chen creeps. But once there's a full Chen army, Crystal Maiden can't just walk up and frostbite a Chen creep. You're going to die to a DK stun or a Rubik. So when the push comes, CM doesn't help.
Okay.
But in the laning stage, I think EG have really stable lanes to not worry too much about the Chen ganks.
They're taking this bleed blue thing a bit too seriously, though.
Yeah.
Well,
Sven
hopefully
is
there's no
removed,
bleeding.
so
What's the blue carry?
you got a Weaver that's still blue.
Ooh.
I'm
sort
not
of.
too much of a fan of that. I think he's blue.
Sort of.
Weaver's okay. Morphling
I mean, in
is
my colourblind
pretty
world,
Morphling is blue.
It's pretty trash though as a hero in general.
Enigma is purple, but I'd go for that if the color.
I mean, ideally this Disruptor would have been free, but you know, let's go.
There's Gyrocopter. There's the fighting carry. It's like the backup. Jug would have been a little bit better, but Gyro is kind of very comparable in what he does. A bit less sustained in terms of being able to push, but
Morphling blue.
bleed blue, all 5.
I
total
just-
geniuses.
Gareth, I just went with you because it was blue. Sorry, there's no strategical insight for me from that whatsoever.
I mean,
I just want to point that
I
out.
just called it a trash hero on air, and then they pick it. So I'm either going to look like I'm either going to look like an absolute idiot or a genius
so you
right
have
now.
to just go with
So
VP
I
in
have
game 3.
I just have to go with VP and say Morphling's a
All right,
trash
I don't
hero
need
and
to
EG
come to you
lost.
anymore. Right, cool, shit. Shiva, what do you think?
I want to believe in the. I called Virtus.Pro at the start of the day before any games. I said Virtus.Pro is
Okay.
the weakest looking
did.
team here.
You did.
I'm gonna go for them though. They're gonna go to the winners bracket.
Okay.
Come on,
all right.
VP.
So we've turned Shiva into a believer. Have we turned gods into a believer?
And I believe last game and they let me down though.
Okay. So do you bleed blue?
10 seconds.
I'm going to go with
remaining.
VP. I think they've just got a great Chen push draft, and I think EG.
Wow,
have
gods.
issues doing
Okay.
it.
So gods is going with his namesake G.
Yep.
Gareth,
I have to go with VP.
you have to go with so
I
it's a
have to go
clean
with
sweep of VP. I'm astonished, frankly, but well, who knew? We could turn them from being absolute non-believers at the start of the day into being absolute fanboys and fangirls by the end of it. All 3 of them going for Virtus.Pro as we head into our final game of the day. The winner goes to the upper bracket, the loser goes to the lower bracket and plays complexity. Let's find out how it goes down with our commentators, ODPixel and Capitalist.
Absolutely, thanks very much, Paul. And here we have it, as you said, final game of the final series of the day. I'm ODPixel, I'm here with Cap. It is EG versus VP, and these two drafts, as they're saying, EG with a blue strat, VP, though, very much with heroes that they're going to be comfortable with. You know, G on his DK, Yoku on his Gyrocopter. I mean, is the blue strat working for you, Kappa? Is this the answer from EG to do it in style here in Game 3?
You know, before the analysts even called it anything, I was going to make some sort of pun about there was going to be a lot of, you know, blue blood all over the ground in this game or something, but then my analysts, the star analyst desk that we had there that predicted 3-0 last time for last game for VP, just did it again. Kind of hard to go with VP in this game after that, but I do like their draft. I mean, it's very VP-ish. It's like I like the way that they drafted in the beginning, where they set themselves up with both Beastmaster and Dragonite up against like the immediate second pick Dragonite against Puck. I think was their greatest drafting win. And that was the part that I liked the most. The follow-up from Evil Geniuses where they draft the Morphling, I'm not going to pretend I like it. I'm not going to pretend I know exactly what it's all about, because I have to a little bit agree with Durka. It's just not the hero, you know? Gareth called it trash. Maybe not that far, but yeah, I'm not a big fan of it, that's for sure.
It's going to be interesting to see how it does pull off on this hero that we just don't see that much anymore. I'll say anymore, there's never really been a point where Morphling's been a top tier pick unanimously across regions, but EG, of course, looking to bring Game 3 round with this last pick Morphling. The lane so far, what are we having done? Well, it's, as they called it, you know, Bulba on his off lane, Abaddon supported up by Fear on the Night Stalker, so very kind of tanky duo off lane that Yoku and Aloha Dance are going to have to deal with, and I guess this is one of the things as well. You know, you're laning as a Gyro Rubik. Ideally, you kind of do that. You're going to have kill potential between those two, but unlikely that's going to work against a Night Stalker and an Abaddon.
Yeah, but look at this laning phase. I actually really like it for Evil Geniuses. They've got Crystal Maiden versus the Beastmaster, so you just instantly freeze the board and then start harassing FNG. I like this aggro dual lane and top lane, and then Sumail, he's not going to be doing bad against a Dragonite. Dragonite is looked at as probably one of the better heroes versus Puck just because he's super tanky going mid-game, but in the laning phase itself, it's fine for Puck. You're just going to get a decent amount of farm out of this. So as I see the laning phase unfold, I'm leaning more towards Evil Geniuses. I still question how effective the Morphling really is going to be, but there are certain elements that Morphling brings as a carry, such as Split Push, that I think are going to be really valuable in this game against VP.
I'm looking at this ready. FNG, he's going to TP back to base. I mean, it's a smart one, does get himself out of there, but already we're just seeing the combination of PPD and Aoi being able to force FNG out of the lane and back to base, and of course just for that long walk back down towards the bottom lane. It's a good start.
Anything to get that Iron Talent. You know, Owen, you just sometimes got to throw yourself at the enemy heroes, try and get a couple of CS just so you can buy the recipe, a little bit of tick gold, maybe 1 or 2 CS more. He'll have a full Iron Talon, and if he's really feeling the pressure of PPD and AUI, he can go ahead and abandon lane and just go full jungle, essentially. So it was very smart play by FNG, and the CS is really good for Sumail right now. 16 and 2. Kind of expect that, but it's the top lane that I think is the most noticeable, right? It's not that Abaddon has a ton of farm, but for an off-lane core, he's getting a decent amount because of this dual lane. They're getting levels to Fear, and we haven't seen no Fear rotate around. He's got a smoke, but maybe he hasn't felt real good about the creeps he's gotten, as he has a Wild Wing Ripper, not the greatest ganking creep in the world, and the Dark Troll Summoner, which is just kind of okay. I expect him to eventually pressure the top lane, but it doesn't seem like he's gotten the greatest creeps for it just yet.
Absolutely. I think as well, coming into that top lane, if they do add a Chen into the mix, you feel that VP would have a good chance of taking down one of these two?
Not
still hard.
I know. I still don't think it's real good, just because of the fact that here's the thing: Bulba's going to position himself pretty far forward, but Fear is going to be the one who intercepts the gank. But Bulba can just turn. It's one of the few offlane cores that can help out the support in this situation. If he gets a right time Defotic shield, the fight might just be over from there.
Actually, look at this. They're going on to Fear. Bulba actually shielding himself on this one. So Fear, he's not going to have the help necessarily. Bulba's trying to walk in. Fear has got those boots. It looks like actually the movement speed might be just enough. Yoku, he's got boots as well. Then with the slope and Chen, Rocket Barrage, this looks to be first blood. And Yoku will be very, very happy to claim that. So, yeah, that time around, just the two of them on the off lane of EG getting pulled apart, and you know, the side of VP chase down and find themselves first blood.
Yeah, in a way that was actually Yoku, kind of an intelligent movement by him. He ran at the Abaddon.
Yeah.
Right? Instead of just running over and like, oh, let's kill, yeah, let's go for that Night Stalker, let's go. He ran at the Abaddon and forced Bulba in a way, but just by being close proximity. He didn't even have the Rocket Barrage going. Just by close proximity, had Bulba use the Aphotic Shield on himself because he was playing a little scared. If he throws the Aphotic Shield over to Fear, then at that point in time, Gyrocopter's like, all right, I'll just run down Bulba. So it was a very intelligent play by Yoku that kind of forced that, but still, it created a lot of space. Bulba, I think, was just, okay, I'll farm it.
Mid lane, Sumail dropping the coil. He's got the back of a Fear and PPD, and there we'll find this one. We'll just about do it, and yeah, Fear's going to get the last touch. So nice gank there, and nice usage of that Dream Coil pretty much as soon as Sumail hits that level 6 and gets it available.
Yeah, it was also kind of nice that Fear did get sent back to base, and he's able to then from there be off map and go wherever he wants with this first nighttime rotation.
We'll see what he finds. Aloha going to keep coming around on the low ground, and Fear, he's going to be able to shut him off, and with PPD's help, Aloha Dance, this man's in a lot of trouble. He'll try and hold them back with the telekinesis. Here we go with the Void Slow. Fear, PPD chasing down, Bulba joining the fight as well, and he'll take it. Bulba says thanks for that one.
He's like, I gotta get my phase boots, guys. And this is really how offlane Abaddon puts pressure, because once you get level 6 and phase boots, you can actually start challenging any support that's near, and even sometimes the core in lane. I doubt he's going to be able to challenge Gyrocopter just because it's a super dangerous hero early on, but he's still going to have a continual presence, and if Yoku ever rotates out of lane, which is something that's really essential for Gyrocopters. You remember like CDC, the playstyle they had, where they would always rotate Gyrocopter out of lane and invade the enemy, like safe lane? It still hasn't changed that much. People still constantly use Gyrocopter in that regard to be able to get some early team fights or early pressure.
PPD is still hanging in the jungle. He may be about to fill the wrap of this smoke. Actually, no, not quite going to get into range. Now it's going to dispel on Aloha Dance, and they have got this ward here, so EG know what's up, and the smoke effectively going to be useless here for VP, unable to achieve anything.
So having the continual presence of Bulba at top just means that Yoku can't really leave lane, and if he does, it's super obvious, and the rest of EG just play passive in some of their other lanes. So, and then on top of that, it's like AUI is a really tough hero to gank in this game. Until you have FNG with like a Blink Dagger and Necronomicon 1 or 2, and even then, you're probably going to see in fast Lincolns from the Morphlings, so then you have to bring some more heroes. I almost think that this is one of those games. I encouraged it last time we saw G with a tempo controlling kind of mid, a Shadowblade for him, just so he can set up these ganks. It's really great versus Puck. It's a potential way to catch out the Morphling when he's split pushing as well, because they're going to need to combo those two abilities.
They're trying to lead in onto Sumail, but just the follow through isn't there. Sumail's able to get himself behind the tower. Even with this rotation from Aloha Dance and No Fear, they just can't trap the puck. Top lane, the push is being put on by Bulba and Fear, and they should have a good shot at taking this tier 1, of course, with VP putting their attention towards that mid lane aggression. But at the same time, it's unlikely that VP are able to find anything. PPD and Sumail are there, ready for the push. Dream Coil available on top of the Veil now, complete by Sumail at this very early stage of the game. We'll see how heavy VP want to go in and see if EG are going to bring anything back. The full 4-man to slowly but surely do it. Fear is coming around with the wraparound.
Radiant structures.
See if they can find with this TP in. They're going to look to try and want to go. EG. Fear. Who's he going to lead into? Oh, it's going to be VP leading into him. And Fear's got to be kept alive here by Bulba, but the shield wasn't there. The 4-man Dream Coil though. Bulba moving in. Could EG try and clean this one up? A lower dance. He's going to go. She's going to find anything more. G and Yoke already backing up behind the tower. No Fear's out of there as well. It's a 1-for-1 support for support combo and very even gold change and XP change. So not too much to be said there.
Yeah, if you look at sort of the circumstances outside of just the net worth exchanges, though, I think that's really favorable for Evil Geniuses. They got the tier 1 at top lane, and they defended their mid tower. I think it was a very smart play by VP to go for an early fast push, but between the combination of them already taking the tier 1 and being able to rotate a frontline hero like Bulba to mid lane, and the Veil of Discord, which is actually really tough to push into with all that increased magic damage from the spam, they are able to save their tier 1, and this keeps their jungle intact. This keeps it slows down VP's progression because again they are very dependent on pushing down towers. These are Dragonite, Beastmaster, they're natural pushing cores that have some serious item buildup that if they can't acquire it, they're monsters in the mid game. So Evil Geniuses just got to limit that as much as possible. Tier 1 tower is still going to go down at mid, but it's the idea of slowing down the strategy of VP that plays very favorably into Evil Genius.
Yeah, I mean, talking about slowing down, there's a couple of people on the map that haven't been slowed down at all. Look at Owie at the moment, 4.6k net worth, his CS 77. I mean, he's 36 ahead of this Gyrocopter. Yoku, he's only just hit onto level 6, whereas Owie, you know, he's at level 9.5. I mean, that's a huge difference to have between your two safe laners, and I can't help but feel this Gyro just hasn't really been active enough at this point, and Owie, I mean, you said it earlier, how are they actually going to kill this man?
Well, once you get to the Lincolns, it's damn near impossible, right? And so at that point in time, like, if VP can't acknowledge, if can't actually address him in the time before Lincolns, I think they almost have to just kind of like give it up and be like, okay, AUIs are taking Time Bomb, but before he gets his big, like, really impactful team fight items, we just gotta push, and try and take control of this game.
They're gonna try and take control of Bulba here, moving forward, popping the roar as well. VP trying to lead in, but there's gonna be backup. Sumail on the sideline, thinking about to drop. Dream Coil out onto 2, but Bulba, will he get himself away from this one? Looks like he will, and now PPD with the Frostbite onto G. FNG looking for the TP back, and then Morphling turning up to the fight as well, taking down a second. EG find themselves too, they do lose the tower, but again, I just can't help but feel this strap from VP isn't pulling off enough at this point, and these cores from EG are getting seriously out of control, Owie in particular.
Yeah, it's absolutely not gaining enough ground. Every single time they go for a tower push, there's always some sort of response from Evil Geniuses. It all comes back down to, I think, the Abaddon off lane, which they facilitate a good start via the Night Stalker being in lane and being able to help out against the Chen rotations and such. They kept up the pressure, and now every single time when VP go for a push, Bulba's going to be there. They have to address him. They have to try and you know, do something against him to try and force him back, but he's always going to get some damage out from the Aphotic Shield, and while Bulba's frontlining, Sumail gets some chip damage via the Veil of Discord, and if they get low enough, a full commitment will commence from Evil Geniuses. So VP, they're, again, similar to game number 2, just not getting enough out of their laning phase. It's just a little bit too sloppy. They're getting too many kills, and ABY is about to get that Lincolns.
They need to do something about this, man. They do have a roar. There we go, on to Owie with the cooldown as well. They can have a shot at this. Owie's got no TP, but he's got the rope. He's down. Oh, PPD. Can he help?
Dragonite's cutting across the river. He might be able to catch up, but no, PPD intercepts him.
Yeah, this is big. Just saving Owie. They're going all in on Owie. He's nearly got the mana for another waveform, and he's out. Up to the high ground. Owie, there's no chase down anymore. I mean, Owie, level 11, 11 minutes in, 200 away from that Lincoln Sphere. It really doesn't get any better for a Morphling at the start of a game.
No, it certainly does not. VP are gonna look like they look a little lost right now, and they're gonna look so lost when that Lincoln Sphere is up, and Evil Geniuses still have the fighting heroes to be able to slow down VP pushes. This is the thing, right? You're gonna continually see this against push squads. the opposing team will always try and draft themselves a lineup that has slightly better late game, usually in the form of just one harder carry, and then will draft themselves as many team fight heroes as possible. They don't need to worry about pushes because they have the late game secured in their carry, and then they just need to be able to get as much team fight power against you to slow down your own pushes and stop that snowball. And Evil Geniuses did it early. They nipped that in the bud super fast, and you're going to see VP struggle to make those natural transitions. Normally you'd have all the tier 1s by now, and you'd be content thinking about like, okay, when's our Roshan timing? Have that Aegis, then push tier 2s, get another Roshan, go high ground. But you trip them up in the early game, and VP may not be able to recover.
Mid lane going in onto G, Aoi joining in as well. He tried to TP out with the Dream Coil. The adaptive strikes there. And it's another kill for EG. They'll move in, forcing VP back, and this is looking pretty rough indeed for VP. And also other things as well as this goes on, you know, Fierce picked up the point booster. You gotta remember, when this man has an axe stun, you got a Morphling. So you're gonna have 2 Night Stalkers with that extended night vision split up. I mean, the vision game is going to be ridiculous for the side of EG, and I just don't know how VP can find an opening to fight into it when he gets to that stage of the game. And now they're diving towers. EG moving around, looking for a lower dance. It's going to be a nice cooldown, but they just step to the side now. Yoku himself, he could be in trouble. Silence from Samael onto Tohu and Yoku and FNG. They're going to be careful. No Fear, playing with Fear himself, and run himself back to base, but at this point, just look at this positioning from EG. It's almost slightly sloppy, but VP can't really do anything to punish it. EG is just wandering around behind the tier 2s, and they're just moving right back around it to get the kill on FNG.
It just doesn't stop. They keep on running the heroes because they have the Abaddon, and now G, he's just going to be bursted down.
It's an absolute mess.
Yeah.
What a mess.
I was just about to say, before that fight, it's like game number 2, where if you look at this, it's inevitable in so many ways that Evil Geniuses will take this game because of the advantage that they secured themselves in the early game, or rather just denied Virtus.Pro the normal advantages that they would have to get with this kind of push lineup. They didn't really get the good fights they needed on the gyrocopter. The Dragon Knight has been shut out completely. Like, how is he supposed to do anything with just a break?
DK, as we see in the net worth, he's behind the Night Stalker. I mean, bless him, he's about 700 ahead of PPD's CM. That's not good. That really is not good.
Especially when you remember the last time that PPD was playing this CM, he was just up against that Spectre, right? And just dying constantly. He's normally the hard 5-5 position of Evil Geniuses, or not the hard 5, really the hard 6. He plays that sacrificial support role. So when he's ahead or potentially contesting certain cores on your own team, you know something's real problematic. And Virtus.Pro, they have to do something like this.
Yeah, like this rush attempt, but they're scared. They're actually moving. Oh no! Straight away jumping in. He hasn't actually got the mana here for the Dream Core though. It doesn't matter, they'll take that FNG. Telekinesis onto PPD, can they punish this tier? But there's your Dream Core. Holding through them back, the cooldown isn't going to connect, only onto Bulba, but Bulba, he doesn't mind frontlining this one. A low hard out's taken down as his second casualty here for the side. Joku trying to move in, but with the rage, just doesn't have the damage on this gyrocopter. 3 dead on VPG, silenced up. Fear moving in with the rest of the boys in blue, and the blue strats working out. An absolute mile here, 14 for 2. EG go into the pit, and this, I mean, this is kind of the EG versus VP matchup we expected. It's just absolutely outclassed from the side of EG. They're at 14k net worth lead, and VP, well, they're back to kind of the VP we're expecting this morning.
Yeah, totally one-sided lead from Evil Geniuses. It would take so many miracles, I think, for Virtus.Pro to be able to come back into this game. And I think it all comes back down to it. I love the pickup when I saw it, and it's proved to do so much more. Thought the eccentric pickup of Evil Geniuses that was really that set a lot of their drafts apart from everyone else was the Elder Titan. But now they're showing this other card in the Abaddon. If they can successfully run both support Abaddon and do this punishing off-late Abaddon as well, which is kind of an NA specialty, then Evil Geniuses, this hero is actually doing so much against the team fight snowballishness of Virtus.Pro's lineup, and every other team after VP is going to be on alert for this. They're going to be scared of the potential for Evil Geniuses to shut down your 5-man push lineup at minute 7, 8, whenever that first push at the mid lane was.
These numbers, PPD, more farm than G's DK. That's I really don't know what to say to that. And well, VP, they are going to try and fire onto this one, straight onto Fear. Looks like they'll find themselves the Night Stalker. Very nice indeed, but Sumail back in, Waning Rift. Looks like they'll leave that one there. So VP are able to find themselves a freebie, and G's back on top of PPD CM. So good things here for VP.
I mean, Sumail is he's making up so much for that game number 1, right? Where he got tripped up multiple times as the Ember Spirit, and it ultimately cost Evil Geniuses the game. Now Sumail, it's like he's pissed off. He's just styling on Virtus.Pro every chance he gets. And he's dealing with some, instant disables, too. Single target, the Dragonite is great because of Dragon Tail. You've also got the Rubik Telekinesis. Have you ever seen Sumail get caught out by that, though? No, he always seems to have the right positioning. He gets the read on when he's able to jump in and get the good silence without somehow getting caught out by one of the heroes from VP. And it's just resulting in a dominant tempo controller from Sumail that is stalling all these pushes. And now we're getting to a point where Evil Geniuses are actively taking the game.
They might be able to find Bulba here, catching him off the back of a failed TP.
Yeah, can they really, though, Owen?
Oh, they don't
They
don't have Raw for 10 seconds either.
Yeah, got borrowed time.
Oh man, oh man.
What are they going to do? They pop, even if they did have Primal Roar, right? And they use that on the event, what's Bulba do? He just instantly pops borrowed time and keeps running.
Here we go, Invis boys. Sumail. Line up FNG. Fear is there as well. And straight in with the fail, the Dagon. Goodbye there. But oh my god. Gonna be enough this time. Where's your god now? It's going to be another kill here for the side of EG. 15 for 3, 18 minutes in. The Slaughter not looking to stop. I mean, yeah, Owie's farm still.
It's
it's ridiculous.
The update with Owie.
Absolutely. He's nearly got an E-Blade cap.
Yeah. You just got to check in on him every once in a while, see how much farther ahead he's in net worth and how many towers he's claimed. It's another one. Tier 2 goes down. E-Blade is ready to go, and this is the point, right? We've now skipped over this area where Morphling was supposed to be kind of like Weaver in that you pick up your first defensive item and you're not supposed to be much of a team fight hero, and most teams are able to abuse that. They're able to play the team fight element and they're able to just push aggressively against you while the Morphling or the Weaver split pushes, but we've skipped over that. Morphling was still strong enough, he was getting so much free farm, he was viable, and now with the Ethereal Blade, he's going to be dominant.
Well, you've got to, FNG, I don't think you want to come out of the base. That Hawk really got shown there by the E-Blade. Bail onto FNG with the stun as well. Can he fight into this one? No, he can't. One more touch from Fear, they'll finally kill. They may lose Fear though on the Night Stalker. Gets himself forced away. Telekinesis though, and they'll take it. Buy back from FNG. They'll look for Sumail as well. He's a little bit low on mana. Can this boy get himself out of harm's way? No, he can't. Aegis now pop. EG. Now with the 3-man on the sidelines, ready to come back in. And with the new COT FNG getting blown up by Owie. Now involving PPD, oh that's a nice freezing field here, forcing VP back. Owie's moving forward, eyeing up Yoku. Quite enough though as VP. Themselves alive, just getting themselves back up to the high ground. Nonetheless, I mean VP, they do find themselves 2 kills and a big one as well onto Sumail's Puck that was having a very, very good game. And the money going to G on that Dragon Knight, so it's going to be a nice cash influx. But it may just be a little too little, a little too late for the side of VP, as still it's EG with this just daunting lead of about 17,000 net worth at this point.
I gotta give credit to PPD though, that was so smart where he snuck into the trees and got that freezing field, because for a moment I thought that maybe VP could keep going. They just killed Sumail, the shotgun had just been used to kill FNG, so the Morphling wasn't as much of a threat if you can start getting offensive on him, right, and force him to morph into strength in order to stay alive. But because of the freezing field, it keeps VP utterly zoned out, and they're not able to capitalize on what was a initially small win that could have gone so much better. I like Bulba's choice here. In a way, I guess the drums isn't really much of an item that some cores want to be able to go for, especially some of the strength cores that used to go for it. It's just not as valuable anymore. So he goes instead for a Blink Dagger. I thought this would be like a full movement speed build that we used to see started off in NA, but you know, it was like Vlad, you maybe go for an S and Y, you consider drums as well, some just early stat items, just abuse the heroes by running at them as much as possible. But now, Bulba's actually going to blink into them.
Owie's new damage is far too much at this point for anyone on the side of VP to survive. Benji getting caught out. See the illusion here on the replica illusion from Morphling, just coming around, trying to get them a bit of vision on the back lines. There's a smoke up from VP though. So looking up fine with this one. Playing EGR about. They can, I mean, if they can win a fight, it will be huge. Fear. Be the one to dispel it.
No.
Sideline Joker already being bursted down very low. The mech will be popped. Bulba coming into the middle of it all with a freezing field for the sidelines. PPD doing it for the time being, but the BKB Yoku will take him down. Yoku just BKBing, TPing away. A lower dance, getting himself up with the jaunt, but the Dagon there, Puck takes him down. Two falling on the side of VPG, left alone, hung out to dry. They'll find themselves a third EG.
I don't think I've ever seen a gyrocopter TP out a 20-minute fight like that. This is supposed to be the most dominant period of time for Gyrocopter, but he popped his BKB, killed Crystal Maiden, then TP'd away. That's how little faith he had in Virtus.Pro being able to fight this one out. Despite G, as well as the Rubik still fighting it out, we're attacking heroes and stuff. Gyrocopter's like, nope. This fight is over. We got one kill, that's it. That's all we can ever get. I'm going home.
Yeah, with the push here. Onto the base. VP, where's their answer? They're going to have the full lineup back up in 10 seconds. But it really is not looking pretty here for the side of Virtus.Pro. I know, they're not losing people like this as well.
I know,
too close. Yoku's trying to move it onto Bulba, but it really doesn't matter. He can just tank it all up. Cooldown's going to be dodged by the majority of them. Bulba, and they kill this man. Pulling low, somehow jumps back in with a waning rip. The mech from VP, keeping them up, but look at Maui just moving in. But lows up the Chen. Gonna try and juke it out on the sidelines as well, but he's got the replica losing to jump back to.
He's got another shotgun too. Bye-bye,
G. He's got a lot of armor, not a lot of magic resist. He'll buy back on the DK. Putting himself back in. Yoku still hanging around with the BKB, and EG, they are unable to find those racks. But they will be forced back for the time being. The defense, in part, is successful from VP, but it is costing them a lot of bodies.
Yeah, EG didn't even necessarily have to back out there, but they just crippled Virtus.Pro's economy by taking a tier 3 and forcing out a buyback like that. And Virtus.Pro don't have any options to respond, right? It's not like, unless they can somehow buy back, force a fight, and win that, there is no comeback elements for Virtus.Pro. This is usually the big problem with these push lineups, is that if they stall out early, they never gain any momentum. You don't have a way back into the game. They don't really have good heroes to be able to clear through waves real quickly and get some farm efficiency. That's only kind of on the Gyrocopter. The rest of the heroes are quite bad at it, and Evil Geniuses on the side, well, they've got the map control. They've got a hard carry like Morphling, who's always going to be able to split push you to death and farm really aggressively if he needs to, and the rest of the team's just going to be looking for kills because they've got always got the vision, thanks to Fear having a super early Ags plus Gem.
The vision game is certainly real at this point for EG. There's no doubt about it. And as you said, not getting the racks, it's not going to be the hugest of issues that they're feeling comfortable. There really is no rush for EG at this point when they've managed to find themselves this far ahead. I mean, maybe if Yoku kind of gets himself a rapier, then there's a chance, but there's quite a few thousand gold away here.
BKB straight rapier, that's when you know your Gyrocopter game is screwed. When you start talking that as like a legit possibility, right? I mean, I don't know how else Yoku's ever going to get the damage to stop Evil Geniuses from running at him.
Are you ready to see a lower dance die?
I am. I've never been more ready in my life.
There we go. Beautiful. I mean, this is, you can't come out, well, if you come out of the map, you're going to die. I'm sure lower dance was like, well, I know this is going to be my very short time alive. Try and push out the lane as much as I can, but each and every time, Aui's there with the burst. Roshan is back up as well. Oh, we will see them.
It's gotta be so cathartic, right? If you're AUI, you just calmly farm the whole entire game, and every once in a while, a hero pops up somewhere on the map, and you cast 3 abilities, and it dies.
It's been such an easy game for Aui. 8-0-10, 266 CS, 26 minutes in. It's absolutely textbook play here from the Morphling, and VP have just done absolutely nothing to punish it. And even when they've tried, it's just been a little bit too late. Aui's been too far ahead in terms of farm, and he's got away every single time.
The thing is, when you see this sort of game, it makes so much more sense. I heard somebody talking about how, carries in professional Dota, they'll never shine in a game where your team pretty much wins it for you. They'll never shine when the game's ahead. Carries always shine when they're behind, right? It's like a carry can win you a game when you're 10k goal behind by making some crazy clutch moves in the mid game. In this sort of game, it's like anybody can be AUI almost.
Oh, we can see here as well, already leading in. Yoku's spot the BKB, he's trying to fight Devolver and Aui, but already with the nukes, G's gone. Just like that, Aui bursting down, moves in onto no fear. They're going to find themselves a second. Joku caught by the effort, G, the Dream Coil, the freezing backfield. This has got to be all but over now for VP Alliance. He comes in for the swag kill onto PPD, but it doesn't matter. Pays with his life. And now they'll move in, and GG is called. It's all too much. I mean, game 1, we saw VP do pretty well. Game 2, EG turned it up. At game 3, back to where expected to be at the start. It's a 30k gold lead at the end of the game, 27 minutes in. And Aoi Morphling, that 5th pick Morphling, finishing off the blue. I mean, the blue strat it's goddamn OP looking at this cap. It's absolutely ridiculous.
In some ways, the Morphling could have been like almost any other carry in many ways, because of the fact that it was the other 4 of Evil Geniuses who kind of set the pace, which is shutting down that like 5-man push squad from VP on the very first tower. I think other teams make the mistake that sometimes they think,